you put up a post, was it today or yesterday, where you clipped Michelle Obama went to Chicago over the past couple of days, and she spoke on gun violence and getting a vote on gun control in the Senate. And it's pretty notable because obviously I think Michelle Obama, she's very she deploys herself very strategically, and she usually kind of picks relatively non-controversial issues, but then sometimes she will insert herself in a certain way. Like actually her speech at the DNC was the most amazing and effective rebuke to the Romneys. I saw that entire campaign, and she did it without even mentioning them once. So she's incredibly effective when she sets out to be. Now, we have sound that you highlighted from Michelle Obama's speech. We're going to play that and then get into a couple of questions about that.
That resources matter. They matter. That what it takes to build strong, successful young people isn't genetics or pedigree or good luck. It's opportunity. And I know from my own experience, I started out with exactly the same aptitude, exactly the same intellectual, emotional capabilities as so many of my peers. And the only thing that separated me from them was that I had a few more advantages than some of them did.
Now, that's just really striking because she's talking actually even about, she comes from a very working class background, and she's recognizing even privilege and advantage in that context. And it's very striking just to even have a first lady kind of bring up those issues. And I think I would love if you could kind of comment on that, because I think that's what you highlighted in your post.
Yeah. So, and to speak to how often Michelle Obama has historically kind of gotten criticized, right, for not taking on the hard-hitting issues, right, and kind of playing it safe.
Right.
But I do think that she's kind of getting a little bit more of an opportunity to express, the old Michelle Obama, which, and that's not to say that all of this hasn't been Michelle Obama and like different facets of who she is, but I think she's very politically savvy, I think. And so she knows exactly when and where it's appropriate, I think, to talk about the issues that she thinks will resonate and actually make an impact. And part of what makes this so powerful, and it's similar to when, Obama, he got so much hate when he said, if I had a son, he would look like Trayvon Martin. Right, and that was such a powerful statement because it reminded Americans that they have a black president, and like a lot of people are still angry about that, right? They were like, "What?" And
right. Exactly.
They were like,
"She
what?
reminded it, and we don't like it."
And they're like, "Wait a second, you were a black boy once. We hate black boys." Right, and so I think there's a similar thing happening here. Why it's so powerful for the First Lady of the United States of America to be like, you know what? I could have been shot dead at 15 years old. What made it different for me was that I had access to education and I had access to a support network and people kept me off the streets. And for her to make a statement like that, I think, and to relate to a community in such a specific way, I think it really opens up the possibility of us not thinking about gun violence as this segmented thing that nobody can relate to. It's actually something that a lot of people can relate to. There are a lot of people that have probably because of opportunity, have narrowly escaped a fate similar, right? And that's a really powerful, like, I think the way that we think about gun violence is either like this massive tragedy that happened, because a lunatic took a gun and there was some kind of public mass shooting, or there's this, part of your city that you never go to and you don't even know where the guns come from, and it's this kind of like random criminal on criminal thing that you have no part of, and for her to kind of normalize it in a sense, I think opens up the possibility of us being like, wait a second, is violence actually caused by bad schools? Like, is like when kids don't have access to good food, like, do they turn to other, alternatives? And it's sad that we're kind of at a point where we don't honestly and openly have that conversation. But I think it's really powerful for Michelle Obama to make that connection, because she's not just focusing, like most politicians do, like most first ladies have done, on the tragedy of it, right? She's not focusing on the tragedy. She's talking about root causes, and that's a totally different kind of angle on gun violence.
Well, she's talking about the kind of slow motion tragedy and crisis of urban America. I mean, it actually reminded me of this is several years ago. I think it might have even been in 2000. Well, no, it was right around the time when when Barack Obama was setting up an exploratory committee, probably in 2007, and 60 Minutes did a profile with them, and the reporter asked Michelle Obama pretty directly, "Do you feel frightened of your husband running for president because of his race?" And she said, "As a black man, my husband could get shot pumping gas." And I just remember, I really, even in that context, as a candidate's wife in that setting, that answer was amazing, was pretty astonishing, what she was willing to do. Now, I think that, yes, this is really inspiring, and it's also really important because she's putting gun violence in a context, and there's a number of different contexts that it could be put in, and not as a kind of single sort of issue in and of itself. It's connected. It's connected, in fact, with economic opportunity and the issues that we were talking about in the beginning. But that said, she does this really well. And, President Obama releases his budget. And to be fair, there are some, I've been looking over it. There are some good things in it. There's an increased funding for pre-K and some other really important priorities he's talked about. He actually did come out for raising the minimum wage in the State of the Union address. But he's also advocating pretty serious cuts in things like Medicare and Social Security. So how do you kind of, I think this is definitely a challenge of this show because this is a progressive show. And you find yourself being pretty critical of a lot of things that President Obama is advocating. So how do you kind of find that balance of when Michelle Obama does something like this and then it comes on the heels of a budget like the one that was just proposed?
Yeah. I mean, it's, and I mean, I think it's really complicated, right? I mean, I think from a cultural standpoint, there's one type of work that's being done by, Michelle Obama, by statements like this being released by her just kind of like existing and being who she is, that it opens up possibilities, all this kind of like visual stuff around having a black first lady and politics of representation and, there's all this exciting stuff that's kind of happening. And I think with the Obama administration is or with an Obama presidency, around cultural stuff, right?
Yes.
Now, the rate at which that opens up culture, is that matched up to the policy that's actually also being progressed? No, right? And so, I mean, I think it's this constant balance. And that's why I think so many people were frustrated that they felt like, I want to kind of support Barack Obama and I want to support, obviously our first black president, but I actually don't agree with a lot of the things he's doing on a policy level.
Right.
And I think that, it's obviously a lot more complicated of a conversation, but I do think it's difficult to reconcile. I think, one is important, but just because that's happening, just because we're excited about these new things that are being said and these conversations about race and representation doesn't mean that we can't be just as angry and loud about holding Obama accountable for cutting Medicare and Social Security. I mean, that's preposterous.